I'm going to try to build this on camera. I just don't have the greatest setup. I just have my iPhone on a homemade stand. So these are the micro dip switches I got from Amazon. I'll post all the links. This is what I'm building. It's the micro FPV camera. I can see the dip switch, and I just put hot glue or a double-sided tape and Velcro on the bottom, and I run a V911 type battery. It works good for just putting on anything, flying anything FPV. Hopefully I can do it in a reasonable amount of time. I've done some pre-tinning. Basically the V911 battery terminals. The antenna I cut down. I already pre-tinned. I pre-tinned all these, and I pre-tinned all these on both sides of the board. That's from Banggood. And the camera is from Banggood. I don't remember all the specifics on them. I'll have it in the links, so that we can you can build one if you want to. I'm just doing that for little extra strength, because I tend to crash a lot. So it makes it fun, because then you get to fix stuff. And everything's marked on the back here. It's really small writing though, but it's fairly legible. It's all really small stuff. My soldering iron isn't the best, and a bunch of other stuff, but it all works. And you can see, I'm not going to be able to zoom very well because I'm just using my iPhone 4, and it's pretty. These three little terminals right here. It says ground, antenna, ground. So you just strip it back and you put half of the braided external wire on each side, and then the center antenna wire you put down the center, and it looks like I got it soldered pretty well. And that's how the antenna goes on. Now next to this, next to the antenna, I'll put that little dip switch. These came from Amazon. They're like the smallest dip switch I've ever seen. They're like smaller than my fingernail, small. So you don't have to use a dip switch, but it's nice because then you can run different channels. I believe you have up to 8 channels if you run a dip switch. So then you can fly up to 8. Yeah, you can see how tiny this thing is. It's like smaller than my fingernail. And then what I do is I line up the pins. I'm still trying to get used to this. I line up the pins and then see where I need to bend the other side just to barely have them come through. And then I'll bend them over and solder. watch this, you'll be able to see. With any amount of soldering skill, this is a very easy thing to do. Just tin them up, it's not necessary, but it makes it so much better when you put it onto the board. You can just touch it and it just melts right on. And then this is kind of the fun part. Make sure you got them all soldered on there. And then I didn't clean that off. It'll still solder, but it might get messy, hopefully not too messy. Oh yeah. Okay, you can see I soldered across all those leads, all the little terminals on the bottom of the switch. Actually, it would be the top of the switch if you're looking at it this way. It's really hot still. And then these three down here, oops, sorry. There's channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and then by the different combinations of the dip switches, either either on or off. So you get, that'd be, flip one up, that would be, I think that's channel 2. You got channel 1 through 8. When they're all down off, I believe it's channel 8 when they're all off. But that's pretty much how easy that side is. So those are all the connectors on that side. Then this side is, it reads video, audio, which we won't be using, ground, VCC, which is your voltage, and then ground again, another ground tab on the bottom. Why they have so many grounds, I don't know. And you just take your little, your camera power. These are already all pre-tinned, so I can solder those on. So the video is yellow. I hope I have most of this on film. This is the first time I'm trying to do this without a decent wide angle camera. Just trying to use the iPhone. Where do I do that? Video. And this is not silicone wire, so it melts really quick. Yeah. So that was video, and then the audio, and then the ground. I just solder them super tight. You can see what I mean. Solder them super tight, push the insulation all the way till it contacts the board, and then I'll touch it on the bottom edge with the soldering iron so your insulation will melt a little. Keep up pressure on it as it's melting, and then your insulation will be tight to the board so you won't have to worry about any shorting. And all you gotta do is come in and just nip the little ends off the bottom. Get the power on there. I'll just take and on here it says VCC. I keep doing that. VCC and ground for the last two terminals right there. So I just did the same thing I normally do. I just solder and push the wires up till the insulation touches the bottom of the board, and then you get a really nice tight solder joint. I'm going to cut this and I'm going to put the splice the positive wire into here so you're not trying to stack a whole bunch of wires. Oh, gotta tin these. So nice to work with silicone wire. Wish the wire on the camera was silicone. That plastic wire just melts and burns and makes a big mess. I'll just put the, still don't know what side I want to do that on. Probably not that way. If you pre-tin them, the nice thing is you can just go in there and go touch, and they'll solder right together. Like I just touched that one and just soldered right together just with a little touch. Makes it really nice. So today is April Fool's Day. It's been 3 years since I quit smoking. Still got lighters laying around everywhere. They're very useful. Now, just for safety's sake, so I don't rip that wire off, I'm going to run some hot glue on this whole bar right there. Just because the whole thing me nervous. Let it cool for a second, and then I'll put some on the other side. Kind of push it back down behind there with some spittle. Then I'll just cake right over the top of the whole thing. Not really cake. Nice carefully planned bead. How's that? Versus caking it on. Make sure if you're going to touch it, you like wait till it cools. And I just lick my finger a little bit and kind of mold it. And then you can do the same thing on the other side. Put the tip of the hot glue gun right on it. It won't melt the solder, don't worry. And that'll help the antenna a little bit, and then once this cools, I'll put a little dab on the inside by the antenna, and that'll help it when you crash. It won't flop over and bend off. Just like that. And then what I did, which is on my other one, I just took a little piece of double-sided servo tape. The wires come out of the bottom of the camera, so I took some double-sided servo tape and I just stuck it on. Like I say, I'm going to run this camera remote. I'll hook this up to, but we can check now to see if this all works and power it up and check it on my goggles. And ooh, some kind of activity already. There we go. Okay. Ran out of room on my phone. So I'll finish showing you quick. I had to transfer the video from my phone to my laptop. And while I was waiting for that to happen, I put hot glue on the back of the camera so the wires won't pull out when I crash, because there's no if about it. Hot glue just to hold the wires so they don't rip off. So, and then that was all hot glued. You can shorten all this stuff down, and like my other one, mount the camera, just take all the wires, put them back, and then tuck them through here like that, and then just take and make it like a little module. But like I was saying, this one I want to run it on my Arrow, so I'll make a little foam board piece that fits inside of the Velcro hatch and slides all the way up to the front, and then behind that my battery will go so I can move it around to get my CG right. So then I'll have this camera through the window, the eye in the front of the FT Mini Arrow. So, but anyways, I'll show you now that it works. And it works. Alright, thanks for watching. Have any questions? Just let me know, and I can answer them for you. No big deal. I can get a weight on it really quick. Grab a scale quick. So, before I totally kill my battery. And with the battery and all, 17 grams. That's with the pretty hefty. This is a 200 milliamp hour, so it's 11 grams without the big heavy. You can use the smaller 150s if you're trying to put it on, like I'll actually put it on my here, I made this out of an Eachine. I'll actually put it on this, and you can actually fly it. Mount it on there, and you can actually fly it with that on there. And then you can, I crashed and destroyed both of them, but I'll Velcro it on the top of my Arrow. You can see I busted my Arrow right in half. I'll Velcro it right on top of my Arrow, and then I'll put the 808 cam right there for recording, and then I'll run the that FPV module there, or on here on the Mini Versa that I made today. Yeah, that's busted in half too. I'll just Velcro it right there, fly it FPV, and then I'll put my camera, that 808 camera right there. Alright, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.